going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Friday. We made it. Friday. Hope you guys had a good week. Hope you guys have some great weekend plans. Don't do anything dumb. I tell you that every Friday. Don't do anything dumb. Be safe. Have fun. All right. You guys want to watch some court? I want to watch some court. I've got a random collection of clips for you guys tonight. We're going to start with Judge Middleton with the landlord tenant case where this one's just weird. It does seem like it goes on forever at times, but it's interesting enough to hang in there. Oh man, what am I doing? All right, you guys ready? Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your chunk kickback lips. Let's go.
This case has certainly got some wrinkles in it. So let me call it.
Did you get my answer?
I did. It was very helpful.
I
All
got
right,
it too.
This is file number 242393 LT Clifton Harden versus Casey James Cap and other occupants at 69801 Burke Road, White Pigeon. And there's Valerie back there. Anyway, this is filed, I believe, as a termination of tenancy action. But as I said, there's multiple issues with this. We'll see if we can parse them out. But as defendants in a landlord-tenant proceeding, even though you are represented by counsel, Mr. Howard Bush, the law requires that I advise you of certain things regarding a landlord-tenant case. First of all, you have a right to hire an attorney. You've already done that, so we'll skip that. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If there is a demand for a jury trial, you have to make it at this first hearing or file the demand within 5 days using the jury demand form and pay the jury demand fee of $50 unless the court waives it. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You do not, well, you may be able to reach an agreement with the other side by going through mediation. If both parties are interested, the court can help set that up. Finally, you may be able to reach an agreement which would result in a conditional order of dismissal. And if that is the circumstance, either one of the lawyers or the court could assist in preparing that. The plaintiff, Mr. Clifton Harden, is in the office with his lawyer, Mr. Victor Bland. The defendant, Mr. Cap, and his wife are in the office with Mr. Bush. The defendants were served with a demand for non-payment of rent on November 11th, 2024. But it says you owe property tax. And then what they actually filed was a termination of tenancy action on December 17th. They did not file a copy of a lease or any other agreement with the matter. So the defendant retained Mr. Bush, and Mr. Bush filed an answer raising a number of issues. He did attach a purchase agreement.
And there is a later one also. I did not have it at the time.
All right, well, this one is entitled Rent to Own Contract. It's dated November 20th of 2018. And the parties are DC Investments, Inc., not Clifton Harden. And the defendants, and this is not just a rental, it's a rent with option to purchase that was supposed to take 108 payments. I can't tell how many have been made. It's also got unenforceable clauses in it. It's got a 10% late fee, which is not allowable. It's got other things in it that don't comply with the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act. If renter fails to make a payment within 60 days of the due date, renter agrees that the owner shall have the right to enter renter's property for the purpose of taking possession of the rented property. That's not a permissible clause in a rental contract. Further, the contract says the renter has 60 days to make the payment. Plaintiff gave him a 30-day notice to quit. They also contend that the property taxes are not paid, and Mr. Bush contends that they are paid. So there's multiple problems. The first problem, Mr. Bush and Mr. Bland, is it doesn't even look like we have the correct plaintiff. The correct plaintiff should be DC Investments, Inc. Mr. Bland, what's your response to that?
Well, there's a subsequent contract, and I believe, I can't tell the date from it, but in that contract, and Mr. Bush sent this one to me, I think yesterday by
I
email.
just received it.
Yeah, and
found
it is essentially the contract Your Honor is looking at, except it does change the owner to Clifton Harder, and they've initialed it.
Okay.
And I think, I don't know if I see an actual date on it. It might be on the very last page here. It was notarized, though. I think I can tell you the notarization date. June 19th, 2023, it was notarized by Cliff Harder, Amy Watson, and Casey Cass. And I have
Well,
that.
obviously that should have been closed with the summons and complaint. So, all right, let's assume that there is some sort of rental agreement. Then this isn't a termination of tenancy case. It's a demand for non-payment of rent case. According to the contract, they have 60 days to cure it. And Mr. Bush contends that it isn't in arrears anyway, that the property taxes are not delinquent.
Well, Your Honor, this new contract, and again, I can probably screen share it if I'm smart enough, which I may not be, but it says 30 days, I believe. Let's see. Renters agree that if the rent is more than 5 days late, this agreement is broken and will automatically revert to month rental agreement and may be terminated at any time thereafter with a 30-day written notice from owners.
Okay. So there's
all right. When the judge starts laughing when you're reading the contract, I would probably stop reading. I'm just throwing that out there. It sounds like this contract already isn't. I mean, what did he say? There's already 2 illegal clauses in the contract. Or he didn't say illegal. He said non-permissible.
some sort of a contract that the plaintiff didn't even have. Excuse me, just a minute. No matter what the period is, it still appears to be a non-payment of rent case rather than a termination of tenancy case. Well, Howard, let's hear from you and we'll see what your perspective is.
Your Honor, please, My clients have the funds to pay. There's rent due November, December, and January. We have the funds ready and available. The plaintiff had demanded payments in cash. They said, fine, where do we pay him? And he said he'd come and get them or something. They have the money. They don't know how to get it to him. We would ask the court, could we pay it through the court?
Well, as you know, once a termination of tenancy case is filed, the landlord can't accept rent. But I don't think this is properly a termination of tenancy case. I think it's a non-payment of rent case.
I think it is too.
And, well, in addition, there were 108 payments made or to be made, and it looks like dozens and dozens of payments would be made. So the plaintiff just wants them to leave. I keep all the money. I get my house back. And you have to move. So I don't think it's a termination of tenancy case. I think it's a non-payment of rent case. And the fundamental issue, well, it's got a bunch of problems. In the non-payment of rent notice that they got, it said failure to pay property taxes. If your information is correct, it doesn't look like the property taxes are delinquent.
Has the 24's been paid also?
24, not yet.
So the 23 and 24 taxes have been paid?
The 24 haven't been paid, but they aren't due yet.
Okay.
Yet. They will be paid.
All right, and you've got $403 for November, December, and January, and are you ready and willing to pay it?
Wait a minute. I can't understand. I think Howard's talking and you're talking, Judge. I can't understand both of you. I don't know if Howard's talking to us or his clients.
All right. So first of all, Victor, my take that this is filed as a termination of tenancy action. Your client didn't file a contract or a lease when there actually is one in effect, which gives them a right to pay the rent and keep the property. There's a list of payments. I didn't count them, but it looks like hundreds of payments have been made since 2018 towards the purchase price of $35,000. Mr. Bush, does your client have an estimate as how much they've actually paid toward the purchase of this property?
Oh, we had it
He's looking, I believe.
on this calendar. 2025, the next one. Right here on the calendar.
Up until November of
All those up there,
2024, 15,250.
This one?
but it was supposed to be 12,000 because it got switched.
60 days.
They
So how much have they paid?
The balance. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
somewhere around
We've paid more than half.
More than half. It was only like 12,000 owed.
12,000 is presently owed.
All right. Mr. Bland, what's your position here?
Well, you know, there was some difficulty, I think, on how to file. The taxes obviously were not paid at the time, and I don't believe the rent was current, but I could have been in error on that. My client also, I mean, his position is he wants the property back because he also believes that they've made, I'll say, alterations to the property that may be diminishing its value. There is a clause in a contract that says renters shall maintain the property at renter's expense in clean, good working order. Mr. Bush did send some pictures where it looks like they're doing some kind of work inside. My client's got photographs of outside stuff that does not look, to me anyway, if it's still that condition, that it's code worthy. So Yeah, you know, if you want to take testimony from him as to what he thinks in terms of why there's been.
Well, there's a
allegations
couple
to the press.
problems. First of all, the case needs to be adjourned for at least 7 days. Every landlord tenant case gets a 7-day adjournment. Secondly, he can't do what he wants to do. This rent to own contract stinks. It's full of unenforceable clauses. I don't even have it. You didn't file a copy of it with it. He wants them to leave, give him the house. He keeps their 12,000, 18,000. Well, if they paid 23,000, he keeps all their money and gets the house back and they leave. He didn't even file a copy of the contract. You didn't even have a copy of the contract and Mr. Bush provided it with you. So they have a lease that is a month-to-month lease, and you haven't properly filed a termination of tenancy. For one thing, you ignored the fact that there was a lease. You filed a termination of tenancy, or you filed a non-payment of rent notice saying that the taxes had not been paid, but apparently they were paid either before that or after that. So that doesn't even obtain. So the question is the taxes are not delinquent and the rent would not be delinquent if the plaintiff would accept the rent. But you filed a termination of tenancy action improperly. And they're ready, willing, and able to pay November, December, and January's rent and continue under this rent-to-own contract. So do we agree that that's what is in arrears?
I'll have to ask Mr. Harden, what is in arrears right now? You need to speak up.
The last 3, October, November.
Oh my gosh. No one seems to have their act together. No one's prepared for a trial or for this hearing. I mean, the attorneys are kind of prepared, but not really. They keep asking the clients questions, and the landlord should know this one. You filed a termination for non-payment. Why don't you have that figure ready? It doesn't make sense. At least a month. Come on, guy.
January, and they didn't pay the taxes till the 27th of November after we filed this.
No, he filed it in December. He filed in December after they'd already paid it.
All right, so the defendant says it's November, December, and January. The plaintiff alleges that it's October, November, December, and January.
You have a receipt for October.
So we'll have to determine whether October was paid.
Not December.
It's not exactly.
That's the reason she looked.
Text message.
Oh, text message, yeah.
Yeah, we have a text message, but that's not an actual.
Well, this BS about paying the rent in cash, that's got a bad smell to it. No receipts are given. They're paying this stuff in cash. I don't like it. I don't like much of it. My first inclination was just to dismiss the entire thing. Because the rent to own contract I have has a different owner. However, apparently there's another contract that has not been filed with the court, which may give your client some standing to address this. But
what I'd
Go
like,
ahead.
Your Honor, perhaps, I don't mean to cut you off, and if I'm being rude, forgive me. What I'd like to do is adjourn it out and I'll amend the pleadings. And then we'll see where we're at. I'll file it all as a termination.
And what's the basis for the termination?
the condition of the property, the alterations that are being made.
No, it's
That's really
that.
what upsets my client the most. And I realize that they've got a different view of that, but at this point, I do believe that there's, well, the things that are the photographs show to me is a diminution of the value of the property. So I realize I'm not asking them to accept it or you to accept it at this point, but I am willing to put my client up and with the photographs, which I'll send to Mr. Bush, and we can hash that out. Court may take a look at the photographs and say, well, I don't feel that way. I respect that. But that's really the crux of this. So I'd be happy to amend the pleadings.
All right. And this is not a rental contract, it's a rent-to-own contract, which I don't even have before me, or the previous one. So presumably, when this is completed, the defendants would be the owners of the property.
Unacceptable. 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 Not acceptable.
And it isn't clear what they're allowed to do. They're paying the payments, they're paying the taxes. The defendant is paying the taxes, the plaintiff is not. So it's clear the plaintiff intends to transfer ownership of this property at some point. 108 payments should be over with by now. So that's a little more than, well, how many is that? I don't know. We'll find out. And so according to him, they're not allowed to do any renovation of the property until they own it free and clear. That isn't clear. Renters shall maintain their property at renter's expense in good, clean, and working order. That means if the furnace breaks, the defendant is responsible for it. If it needs a roof, the defendant is responsible for it. So the defendant is making some alterations to the property that the plaintiff doesn't like, but they're more than 50% through with the purchase of the property.
I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if they ever even say it, but I don't know why I said always. I've been assuming it's a trailer home of some sort. That's what I've been assuming since the hearing started, but I don't know if they actually say it. I don't know what the worth is. But I did do the math. 108 payments is 9 years. So it's a 9-year loan for something. Or I guess it's not a loan, it's a rent to own. So whatever you can pay off in 9 years. Doesn't sound like a house. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
So, all right. I'm debating whether to just dismiss the whole thing and have them start over again, or allow you to amend it. So I will allow plaintiff to amend the complaint for for a termination of tenancy claim. Let's take a look at the calendar. I'm going to be gone for a bit in February.
I'm gone the last couple days of February, first week of March. I know that.
All right, how about if we continue this to Friday, February 21st at 11?
I'm good.
I'm okay.
All right, well, I'm trying to look at my time here. Today is the 24th, so 7.
Your Honor,
That's
please,
28 days, yes?
could I make a suggestion that you make this in person so we can
Yes. All right.
provide
I'm
exhibit?
good with that.
Plaintiff has 14 days to file amended complaint.
Yeah, that's not a suggestion. You can you can say I'm not waiving my right to be in person. That's all you have to say. Anyone can do that. That's on Zoom. Could not stipulate to allowing their case to be heard on Zoom. You can do that, and the court has to allow that. So come on, attorney, you should know that.
Defendant has 14 days to answer. I'm gonna do an escrow order. Defendants shall pay $403 per month. Their version is more credible than his, that they owe November, December, January's rent. They shall also pay February. Well, actually, I can only do an escrow order currently. I can't go backwards.
We
So an
will,
escrow order
we
shall
will
start.
volunteer to pay the back months too.
All right.
Can we also include the taxes I think will be due in February?
Trying to.
Well, I don't want to pay the
Couldn't we pay
taxes
the
into
taxes
escrow.
directly to the treasurer?
Yeah, well, I don't want to pay the taxes into escrow. That doesn't help the delinquency, so we'll have to address that.
Okay.
But
I agree with
rent,
Mr. Bush. I'm okay with an order to pay it to the taxing authority.
yeah, and then your client terminates their tenancy and gets the benefit of them having paid the next year's taxes, but we'll see. November, December, January, and February. But I'm not sure what the due date of those taxes is.
I believe mid-February.
Yeah, usually around Valentine's Day, I
It is on
think.
Valentine's Day.
You got a tax?
$641.61.
All right, well, I'll leave it to you, Mr. Bush. You may have the best advice maybe for your clients to pay the taxes. Um, I'm gonna block out the whole hour from 11 to 12 and more time if we need it for that day live. Your client, frankly, Mr. Bland, is not in that great of a position based on the pleadings that are filed here. And I don't like paying rent in cash. But I guess it's not illegal, but there are reasons why they pay it in cash because they don't want to.
Well, Your Honor, he issues a receipt from what he's telling me, so. I mean,
Yeah,
I take cash payments and issue receipts.
okay, well, we'll address that at some point. All right.
I mean, if the landlord is accepting cash, but also he's not. I don't see the problem because he's not saying that the tenants didn't pay the rent, and the tenants are saying, "Oh, we paid him in cash." I don't. Yeah, I mean, the landlord could be doing some sketchy things on the side, but they're not saying the rent went missing. So I don't see the problem with cash in this case. This one's almost over. Shane, I'll shout you out here in a second. This one's almost over.
We'll block out at least an hour on February 21st at 11, live, no Zoom. Plaintiff has 14 days to file an amended complaint regarding termination of tenancy. The defendants will pay escrow. I'll just have them pay all of it. The law would really only allow me to do it from today forward, but we'll get all the escrow money paid, which will show good faith, certainly on the parts of the defendants as well. So when I see a proper, yeah, it was filed as a non-payment of rent. My inclination was just dismiss the whole thing. It was poorly pled. There's no copy of the contract. They get a notice to non-payment of rent, then they get a termination of tenancy, ignoring the fact that there's some sort of contract in place, but we'll stay on the horse we're on with this file number. There are two attorneys involved that can help perhaps get us where we need to go. So we'll just allow it to be amended and continue on that date. Does anybody have anything else to add?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I told you at the beginning, sometimes at times that case just felt like it was taking forever, but I thought it was really interesting, so I wanted to share it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Got a couple anniversaries. Shane, thank you so much for the 12 months. Shane, that is awesome. Congratulations on the year. And Phil rolling in with 12 months as well. Phil, thank you so much. Both of you are OGs. I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, that is awesome. This time last year, I was just getting back up and being remonetized. So I appreciate both of you. Okay. We've got just a couple more landlord tenant cases. We're jumping to Judge Garcia's courtroom, and she had some weird ones. So I'm gonna play those. These are short though. They're not nearly as long as that. And then we're gonna move on to some even more clueless people. Let's go.
So looks like you were representing Copper Point. It looks like Miss Silva Priscilla. Is she in the courtroom? Or on
I'm
Zoom?
here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it looks like she is present, so we are gonna proceed forward.
Okay.
I know I did get some general information already from you, counsel, so let me go ahead and see if Ms. Silva is gonna contest it or if we're gonna proceed forward. Ms. Silva, right now, do you agree that your base monthly rent is $11.44 a month?
No, it's gone higher than that.
Okay. What is your
In that.
base monthly rent right now?
When I'm in, it's always at $12.90. Maybe that's because it's always, I don't know, but it doesn't say it never says $11.44. I know that I'm behind in what I owe. I'm not gonna pay, so I just want to know how many days I have to move out. My lease is up anyways, so they decided not to renew my lease for whatever reason. I've been a part of Copper Point for 4 years. I was one of the first ones. Not that it matters, or you know, this is part of it, but everybody's late on their rent, and the way that I'm a single mom, but at the end of the month it always gets paid. But ever since this new manager came in, she is just very nasty and ugly and doesn't want to work with me. She's the one who chose to not renew my lease in February or January. So she requested that because of course, me being late, but I pay the late fees, and it's always paid by the 30th, by the end of the month. She sent the request, so I got that letter that I was going to be able to renew my lease in February, and it was going to go back to market rate, which I was okay. But then I get another letter stating that they have chosen not to renew my lease. So I called her, and she said, well, I don't have to explain to you this and this and that. Okay, fine. But she ended up explaining that she sent the request for me to move out because she didn't personally want me here anymore. So since November, that is correct. I haven't paid, and I'm not going to pay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, so much we got to break down right there. First off, what's up, Jen? Good to see you. All right. So I'm not paying the back rent. I am not paying. She owes, I don't know, 3 or 4 months worth of rent. I don't know why it took the landlord so long to push her out, or push her out. That's a terrible way of phrasing that. I am sorry. To file for the eviction. Here's the thing. You just admitted you were late every month. Now that is awesome that you had a cool landlord that worked with you and was okay because you always were paid up to date by the next time the next rent was due. That is not common. That is extremely rare. Um, but yeah, again, but you got used to it. That's the problem. You got used to it. Now you have a new management team that came in. They're not going to like that. Yeah, you say everyone's late on their rent that lives in your area. They're all going to get letters like this. That's what happens. They're going to, tighten their shoelaces and get the complex in order. You should have seen that coming right when they sold it.
All right, Ms. Silva, then, there's not really much I can do at this point. Obviously, the judgment has to proceed forward. So, judgment's gonna be in the amount of 3432 plus $200 in attorney fees. Ms. Silva, you've got 5 days to move out, 5 days to appeal it, or 5 days to work something out with them, okay?
Okay, great. Am I able to leave the Zoom now?
Yes, Ms. Silva, thank you. You have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you. You too. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Also, did you have any?
Ah, I just thought of another point. She's a single mom with 2 kids. You have an eviction on your record now. Yeah, right now you're angry. You're, fed up with the people. In about 5 years, you're going to be wishing you didn't have that eviction on your record. Just saying. Yeah, maybe not even that long. I'm guessing she already has a place to go, so it's fine right now. But just wait till you try moving out. Okay, next one.
All right, let me get Ramon, come on up. And then I don't have any other cases. What was that wrong with your case? Oh, okay. I got the traffic. Okay. All right, Mr. Ramon, you were here on a writ of re-entry. Give me 1 minute.
Oh man. Yeah, the insurance company's not on your side either. It's an insurance company. Uh Viagra Mancer. Thank you. Sorry, I just giggled at your name as I was saying it out loud, even though I've seen you before. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Ramon, go ahead and tell me what's
Hold on. Surprised she didn't call her out. Oh, was she driving? I wasn't paying that close attention. I thought she was just sitting in her car. I didn't see that she was driving. Thank you for the super chat though. I appreciate it.
going on here.
Your Honor, I don't know if you can remember back in November, we came to court against with Mr. Miguel, our landlord, and he didn't show up. So you granted us, he wasn't here, so there was no eviction.
Mhm.
We asked y'all what was to do, and you said, whatever. So we went to the front, and they couldn't answer. So then in January, he brings us back to court.
Okay.
On December, sorry about that. In December,
Moving out.
we started moving out.
How are you doing, Mo? I hope you're doing all right. I see your messages. I don't like bringing up a lot of personal messages, but I think you've gotten frustrated because I haven't specifically called you out. Because again, I don't like talking personal about people, so I don't like sharing specific when it comes to people's specific health issues. So that's why I don't always bring them up. But I do read them, and I am thinking about you. I hope you're doing okay.
Regardless.
Did you get an eviction from court?
No, we
No.
weren't gonna have an eviction or owe anything.
told us there was
because
nothing,
He didn't show up.
He didn't show up. Then the second
Somehow
time,
he refiled before we completely moved out.
Okay, and
It's
what
okay.
happened on the
They
second?
gave us till
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We came to
Over the
court.
weekend.
We came to court Friday, on the 13th. I think it was Friday the 13th. I know it was on a Friday,
Okay, hold on, guys. Friday, the 13th of what month?
December.
December.
It was
December.
December
Okay.
12th.
So you came to court on December the 13th. You had 5 days to move out.
Well, we had to that Monday, because we were almost out, but due to the rain that weekend, it rained and everything. We couldn't move because of the rain.
Mercy, let me know what happened on his eviction cases, both of them.
We
Yeah,
told
what they
them
were.
we could move out by Tuesday to give us till Monday, but Tuesday we had to be in Corpus for work.
Okay.
So we moved out all night and it was
What's up? What's up, Katie? Good to see you. I still see her every once in a while. She's still in the chat rooms, the court chats. I think mainly I see her on weekends though, so I don't know what she does during the week. Maybe I see her sometimes I don't know, but I feel like I've seen her recently. I'll say.
was raining
Sunday.
and the trailer we rented from U-Haul, the lights messed up, so, you know, it was a big mess. We worked all the way till 4, dropped the trailer off and went to
And this
Corpus.
is in December, and y'all are still there?
No, we're not there no more. That's the
We were
thing.
just moving stuff out, but we were working out of town, so we were moving out just
Okay.
like on the
So
weekend.
why are you, this writ of reentry is
Well,
for
but
what?
we came back to court and she told.
We went to court on Zoom on Tuesday and I showed her pictures. I said, we're almost out. I have like one more load. And she was upset because we weren't out yet. She put me on mute. We didn't know like how many days we had. We were in Corpus.
Okay, so when's the last time you came to court?
So on Friday, I
What
came.
Friday?
All right, I know I keep interrupting this, but I actually emailed Natalie D about a month ago because I kept getting notifications that she was re-enabling her memberships and then canceling them and then re-enabling them and canceling them. So I just went in and just canceled mine, but I emailed her and said, "What's going on?" And she just said she's taking a break. She wants to come back. She just had some personal issues. So hopefully we'll see her back. But she's doing well. At least she told me she was.
This
That-
month?
No,
December.
it was that next Friday because we went to court on the,
So if
On
this has been since December.
well, I
but you-
came in and appealed on my last day. I came from Corpus on the last day and they told me, I went with a cop to the house to see if we could just get our last little bit of things. My grandbaby's baby bed, our kitchen stuff is in there. And
We
my
locked it
daughter's
down.
clothes. And he put a dog in the yard with a lock and
So
a
this
mean
was all
dog.
in December. Why are you waiting now?
No,
No, I came and appealed by January 2nd, I think was the last time I came and I hadn't heard anything. So that's why I came back today. And I talked to the eviction hotline because I hadn't heard anything.
Mhm.
Well, they told me today that it got transferred to a different.
Yeah, it's in
court.
county court now.
And I didn't know that. And then, so I said, well, what about my stuff? I have a police record where I called the police officer. I thought the constable would help us get our remaining things. And we would have been out of there a long time ago.
But he
He
locked it down.
locked us
He's not a
out.
German Shepherd.
He told the officer that I had to bring it back to court. And we've just been kind
We
of
would have been
waiting.
out already with
I
all our
didn't
stuff.
know that we had to do a reentry form. They barely told me that yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, this has been since December. They won their eviction. You went to county court. You're gonna have to wait to county court and makes a decision. I can't let you in the building. It's already been evicted. This has been since December.
I mean, how is he just gonna keep our stuff?
Well, ma'am, you had 5 days to move out. Okay, whether the rain, whether this and this and that, you had 5 days. That is the law. If you do not move out because you had to work, because you had to do this, I'm sorry, but that's not an excuse. You had 5 days to move out.
Well, that's why we came to ask the judge on Zoom if we could just have till the weekend.
And he
to
said
figure it
no.
out.
If the no is no. You can't make an extension just because you need that time. It's up to the plaintiff if he wants to give you more time. And the judge cannot extend it. By law, we cannot extend it unless the plaintiff wants to, because there is no legal reason to extend it, only medical, or if we have a kid on an oxygen tank, or it takes a little bit longer to move out, or if it's an RV. This has been since December. We are now 30 days later. You're in the appeal process. You have to let the appeal play out.
That's what the police officer said, that we
I
had did the
cannot
right
open that
things.
door
We had to-
after you have the eviction already, and they gave you the proper time to move out.
And what about the first court that we got, that it said we didn't owe anything?
Then the second time, the judge found out that you did, or figured out you did, or agreed that you did. I don't know. I wasn't that judge, so I didn't hear the case. I don't know the facts, but
We didn't even explain anything to her.
well, ma'am, at this time, you can fight all that in county court, but you're speaking on deaf ears. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna withdraw or reverse a judgment from another judge. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, the
at all.
reason we didn't do anything, because the officer told us we had to wait to go to court.
Ma'am, then you can sue the officer for giving you whatever you want to do. I don't care. But you can hire an attorney, you can do whatever you'd like. But I don't know who gave you advice, but the only advice that you need to take is from an attorney. If you listen to anybody else's advice, that's on you.
Oh, that's why I'm here today. The eviction hotline called me back finally and told me that I could fill out this form to get entry back into the house. My granddaughter went from a bassinet to her baby bed, and her baby bed is in there. I can't.
And I
her baby
understand
let
that,
out.
but you also had the proper time to move out too. And you didn't move out. And you appealed it, so now it's in county court. So county court has jurisdiction over that. If you want to talk to the eviction and let them know, did you let them know that your case is not in the JP court anymore?
In county.
Did you let the hotline know that?
No.
Exactly. So the hotline doesn't know all the facts. So they're giving you advice based on not all the facts.
Okay.
That's what y'all need to understand.
Exactly, MB. I highly doubt that their stuff is still there. They either took it and put it on the curb, and the pickers had their way with it, or they sold it all, or they just trashed it all. It's been a month. They're not. Their stuff is gone. They're cleaning that place up. They might even have a new tenant in there already.
Is when y'all get advice, y'all need to make sure that y'all give them all the facts, because all the facts changes the outcome. You're only telling them certain things.
Yeah, well, a lot of times I'm trying to explain and they're just like cut you off. They don't even let you explain everything.
That's a
Same thing
very
that
important
happened in
fact. They
court.
need to know where the case, we don't even have it anymore.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
I
he-
have no jurisdiction over that.
He verbally, for a long time, we were just on a verbal contract. He never made us a new contract. He got upset because we gave his wife some letters from the Bear County Jail, and that's when he told us to move out. Like, I didn't even explain none of that to the judge, because already twice he's told us he sold the house and we're gonna move out, and then he changes his mind and lets us stay. So we thought this time was gonna be the same. And he got upset because of the letters from the jail, from the girls that were writing to him. I gave them to his wife, and that's why he gave us, the next day, he took us a letter to vacate. And that's when the eviction process started after that.
Yeah. And
But I didn't even tell the judge any of that part, because like I said, they don't really give you a chance to explain anything. It just, she
So,
put me on mute on Zoom and wouldn't even let me speak.
I can't account for how she ran the docket. I wasn't here again.
Okay.
You're appealing it, so you'll get your chance to be heard in county court, which is a trial de novo, which is a new case.
And they will send me a letter for that?
You need to call county court. I can't speak for county court. I don't know how they
Okay.
run, and I'm not
They,
gonna.
I mean, they gave them a new address here and everything, but I just haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
need
we're
to call
here
county
today.
court because it's been since December, so
Yeah.
you need to call and get a status update of what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, but I have to deny the writs right now, so, okay, thank you. All right, Jennifer.
All right. I don't. What would they be appealing? They already moved out. Generally, when you appeal it, you're appealing the entire eviction. And if it's already moved to a different court, then that stays the eviction. I mean, are they just appealing the money at this point? Or I have no idea. I have so many questions. I don't really feel like asking them though, especially not to that lady. We'll be here all night. All right, we're gonna leave the landlord tenant realm. We are moving on. I think we have Judge DiSanto next, so let's go.
Thank you. Okay, are you recording in custody? Yep. Okay. All right, we are going on the record in the matter of City of Wyandotte, versus Erica Bond, 24353. Ms. Bond, your name please counsel, your appearance for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor. Sorry, I didn't hear the name at first. Good morning, my client's time to send to the matter being heard via Zoom.
Okay, are you able to pick that up?
No, it's very like.
Okay, it's very hard to pick you up, Mr. Shemke.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christopher Shemke, appearing on behalf of my client. This time, we consent to the matter being heard via Zoom.
Shemke!
Thank you. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Bond, long time no see. Your name for the record, please.
Erica Bond.
All right, and counsel, your client is in custody of the Wyandotte Police Department. There is a warrant that was issued for her arrest on July 30th because she had failed to report to jail as ordered on July 26th. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with my client regarding this. Obviously, we're not going to contest that. It's a black and white violation. She will admit to failing to appear. I would like a brief opportunity to allocute and explain the nature of what caused her not to appear. I know that she also would like to briefly discuss the matter with the court to explain her scenario.
Okay, well, let me just say this. So Miss Bond was sentenced on April 24th. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She was not sentenced on April 24th because she had failed to appear for a PSI, and we adjourned it to May 15th. On May 15th, I sentenced Ms. Bond to 60 days jail. I suspended it pending a jail review. And this was on her plea to possession of controlled substance. The court also, on July 23rd, held a jail review, at which point this court ordered Ms. Bond to serve those 60 days jail. She was going to be tethered to treatment through the Wayne County Jail upon her request, and she was to report July 26th. She failed to do so, and the warrant was issued, and here she is. All right, and yes, ma'am, what would you like the court to know?
Hi, Your Honor. I would just like to let you know that I know that I did not do what I was supposed to do, what you ordered me to do, but the reason for as I just got out of a relationship. My daughter let me know that her father was touching her inappropriately. And I have a case going on here with her, with the detectives and things. They came out to my house, and that is why I did not turn myself in. Then going through this, my dad just died 2 months ago, and my mom is very sick. She's pretty much bedridden. She has MS, and I'm the only one that's there to help take care of my kids now. My mom is very sick, or she would be in the courtroom to see me deal with this. But she is there with my kids, all 3 kids, nobody there to take care of them. I'm the only one left to help her or my kids. I've been completely sober, Your Honor. I've got out of my last relationship I was in for 12 years. I'm really trying to change my life around and just be there for my kids and my mom. And I hope that you hear me on this. I know I don't have a good standpoint with this, seeing as how I didn't turn myself in, but that is the reason. I wasn't just ignoring you. It was for the sake of my daughter. I've been pulled over many times, and I've been healthy and sober, so they have let me go. They've radioed in to see if they wanted me. I've called Officer Hunter to try and turn myself in on this to arrange something, and I couldn't get a call back. So I called and talked to Natalie last Friday, and she said my best bet would just be to come turn myself in, but unfortunately I was picked up before that.
So that was a week ago, and you didn't do anything about turning yourself in until you were then arrested. So how are you in custody right now, ma'am? How did that happen? Over
at the corner of my block. I'm going to get my mom and the kids something to drink. And honestly, they didn't pull them over because he didn't use a turn signal. And honestly, Judge, I'm glad that they brought me in. I'm just sick of looking over my shoulder on this. I'm really trying to turn over a new leaf in my life, leaving the person I was with for 12 years, trying to concentrate on my kids. And my dad all of a sudden up and had a heart attack and died out of nowhere. So I literally have nobody but my mom and my kids left. And I'm just trying to do what's right. I have 3 interviews this week at Chick-fil-A, at Red Lobster, and Burger Yard to try and help my mom with the financial responsibilities of the house because my dad was the only breadwinner. Is now.
Pause just a moment, please. Ms. Bond, I'm hearing a whole lot of excuses, which is typical when you're talking. That's what I get from you. A lot are complete, just a long dissertation of excuses. And it isn't just one, it's multiple. So I'm not sure if that's something that you think is going to sway the court one way or the other. But so your dad passed away a couple of months ago and you're just now going to get a job to help your mom who's completely bedridden. Why didn't you do that sooner?
I have been putting on applications on Indeed, but this is the first interviews I've got in the last 3 weeks to a month trying to put my applications on there. She was in the hospital while my dad passed away and didn't come home right away. That's why it took me a while to get on Indeed and put in the applications, because I was spending time getting the kids to school, going back and forth to the hospital for her.
And
She's
what-
finally
what is
home now.
the name- What is the name of the person that you recently left?
Oh, that's absolutely something Judge DiSanto would ask. What did she ask the defendant last week? What's the name of your girlfriend? Isn't that the daughter of your previous girlfriend? Judge DiSanto. Sometimes she just, yeah, yep, that's why we watch her.
My father, Greg Bond.
No. You said the relationship you just got out of. What's that person's
Oh,
name?
I'm sorry, the relationship. I thought you said the person I just lost, Ronnie Gibson.
Ronnie Gibson. Okay, so the two of you have been in a relationship for 12 years?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you just got out of a relationship with him?
Yes, when all these things came forward with my daughter right after my court case. Right after I was sentenced to go do the time, she came to me and let me know all this, and I made a report, and you guys have had CPS and detectives coming to my house since.
Okay, well, hold on. You said you guys. I don't know anything about that, ma'am. The court didn't do that. The court didn't do that. So, so when did you, end things with Ronnie Gibson?
At, I say that of July.
July. Okay.
Yep.
What is your name, sir?
Matthew Corbett.
Oh, you've been here before too, haven't you?
It's been a long time. I've been out of trouble for a long time.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think I've ever been in front of you. It was the prior.
Okay, and so ma'am, who's Matthew Corbett to you?
A guy that I just started seeing.
Okay, and was he in the car with you when you got arrested yesterday?
Yes, he was. He was the one driving that didn't use the turn signal.
Okay, and so, do you all live in?
Oh, this is turning into Jerry Springer so quickly. Who is this guy to you? It's somebody, it's just a guy, I just started seeing him. He's gonna get up there and be like, we've been dating for 5 months. What do you mean? You're my girlfriend. It's like those dumb street interview people on TikTok that walk around and just randomly ask people questions to see if they can get them in trouble. I think that's exactly what we just walked into.
Or?
His father stays a block and a half away from me. He stays some nights with me to try and help me out, but he does not live with me.
Okay. Okay, well, ma'am, here's the thing. This court ordered you back in July to report, to serve your 60 days jail and to be tethered to treatment. You didn't do that. So now you have to do that. So, yes, sir.
I just wanted to come in here and
Hold
say
on,
something.
you can step forward to the podium, please.
Okay. I don't know why she's saying I don't live with her. I do. I've been dating her about 5 years.
Hold on, stop interrupting, ma'am. Stop interrupting. I'm sorry. Your name, you spell your first and last name,
Matthew
please.
Corbett, MATTHEWCORBETT.
Okay.
We've been dating for about 5-6 months. When I met her, she was a mess. She's been doing very well. She's not on any drugs. She hasn't been drinking, taking pills. She's been taking care of her kids. Her dad just passed away. She didn't resort to any substance use to cope with that. She's been looking for a job. I have her phone on me. I can show you her Indeed every day. She just had an interview.
Where does she have the interview?
It was the Burger Yard on Pennsylvania and 4th Street. And
When did she have that interview?
it was about 5 or 6 days ago. She's really trying right now, and I just feel like this is going to discourage her. And she's got a lot of weight on her shoulders. And currently, right now, I'm taking her kids to school and helping in any way, shape, and form that I can. I would ask and appreciate if you could put her on some type of tether and probation. I will make sure she gets to it. I will not let her neglect this at all anymore. Her brother's tired of it. Her mom's tired of it. But I've seen her do what she's supposed to do, and everyone else is turning her back on her, and she has put in a foot forward right now.
Well, so I'm glad,
Good for him. Good for him. He clearly really he's into her, which is fine. They're dating. Well, according to him, not her. She is embarrassed though. You don't deserve him, ma'am. You don't. I don't. Why did I just call her ma'am? Um, that was awesome what he just did for you, and you're up there covering your face, shaking your head. You do not deserve that guy right now. You don't.
I'm glad to hear that there's some progress. But there's also a lot of history I think that you're unaware of with Ms. Bond.
I don't know what's going on.
Ms. Bond has been here on a number of occasions, and Ms. Bond was to report to jail to serve her 60 days on her last matter of a possession of controlled substance charge from April. And so in May, this court gave her an opportunity. This court gave her an opportunity and suspended her sentence of 60 days jail. She had a jail review, right? So that gave her an opportunity to do what she was supposed to do. She didn't do that. So then at her jail review, this court ordered her to serve her 60 days because she did not do what she was supposed to do. And then I even gave her time to get things in order, and I gave her 3 extra days, and then she had to report. She didn't. She didn't report. So now she has to report. Now she has to serve her time in jail, and then when she is done, then she can pick up where she's left off with her applications and whatnot.
Okay, well, will that be time served, or like on a fresh start when after she gets out of jail? Or will she be on probation?
No, after she gets, no, I didn't send her to probation on this matter. She's had other matters. And that she was on probation for. And so I didn't find that she was a viable candidate for probation. So that's why this court in this matter ordered 60 days jail.
Your Honor, I was not on probation. I was not on probation. It said that I was not a candidate for the probation. I'm just begging.
I know that you're not on probation. I just said that you were not on probation on this matter.
Okay. I thought you said I was already on probation. I'm sorry.
On other matters, you got on probation on other matters, which is why you were not a candidate for probation on this matter.
Okay.
And ma'am, I hear that it appears as though you may be making progress, but I'm also very keenly aware of the multiple times that your statements have said the same thing. And that you've come to this court on a number of occasions, excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. So I'm not buying, I am not taking all of those excuses and waiving your jail time. You have to serve your 60 days.
There we go. 60 days. Yeah. I mean, hey, look, you got a good guy. He's probably gonna help you out with the kids. I'm gonna stand by it though. I feel she's acting like if some people are watching her. Like, oh, the person I'm into is probably watching this right now. I don't want him saying like that's how she's acting to me. That's in my head. That's her actions. Jamal, oops, fun. I'm sure Heather would say she has loved you forever. Jamal, thank you. Not forever. And look who's here. Yeah, when you said what would Heather say about me, I texted her. I was like, hey, if you're up, you're being Beetlejuiced, come say hi. So feel free to ask her while she's here. Anyway, Derval, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And also, Heather. All right, let's finish this one up.
If you would like to go to treatment, ma'am, you can. Are you requesting that?
Yes, I am. I don't, when I was on
Miss,
my
she asked you a
test.
yes or no question. She asked you a yes or no question. You said yes.
Okay.
Stop.
Shepke!
And if you were to test right now, Ms. Bond, what's in your system?
Nothing, just marijuana that I have a card for. That's it.
And how long have you had that marijuana card, ma'am?
The last one I got, ran out. I had to get a new one, so I've had this one for probably a year.
And that would have been while you were on probation on your other matter. Was that approved by the court?
Yes, it was.
Okay, ma'am. Good luck to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honor.
All right, thank you.
All right, all right. I think I've used enough words on that last case, so we're just gonna move on. We've got one left. Judge Satterfield, I believe. This is the last case of the night. It's not a long one. It's only, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. So let's go.
Okay, is there a Brian Wilkinson?
I'm also gonna say this is my feel-good clip of the night. I can't even keep a straight face. I wanted to say that before this started and I forgot. So, but yeah, this isn't a feel-good clip, but I wanted just to tease you guys because this is kind of funny.
Oh no, we still have Corey White. To go back to. Mr. White, you have new charges in Butler County.
Played the fifth.
What?
I played the fifth.
Okay, good.
They
I'll
violated me.
Okay, you've been charged in count 1 with battery against a law enforcement. It's alleged on the 22nd day of January 2025 in Butler County, Kansas. So that would have been last Wednesday that you.
Yeah, actually, Phil, thank you so much for reminding me. Date night is Sunday night, not tomorrow night. I was after this clip's over, I'll announce that. But thank you so much, Phil, for reminding me. I am going to be live tomorrow night. I completely forgot about that until you just said that. Okay.
Cause physical contact in a rude, insulting, or angry manner with Deputy Haley Ryder. It is a Class A person misdemeanor if you were convicted. Maximum 1 year in the county jail and a $2,500 fine. However, I'm going to enter not guilty plea for you. You're also charged.
You guys have been pimping me out from Oklahoma to Kansas like nonstop just because I won the lottery. So I'm actually going to sue all your courts again.
Okay. So in count 2, I don't bring the charges, sir. The state does. Mr. Regier represents the county attorney's office. The officers submit sworn affidavits and then they look over the evidence and file charges. I'm just here to tell you what they've charged you with and get you back in front of a judge and make sure that you have an attorney.
He won the lottery though, and he's being pimped out. You can't keep that quiet. You cannot.
Okay. Count 2, you're charged with battering Deputy Luke Grimes, same penalty provisions. Count 3, you're charged with interfering with their ability to execute a warrant, maybe like you said, a warrant out of Oklahoma or something. And that's also Class A non-person misdemeanor. And then count 4, you're charged with having a multicolored smoking pipe with burnt residue, which they believe had some residue of some sort of drug or narcotic. That's what's known as possession of paraphernalia. It's a B non-person misdemeanor, maximum 6 months in the county jail and $1,000 fine. Again, I'm entering not guilty plea on all the charges for you. And your court date will be in front of Judge Webster on March 24th, 2025 at 8 a.m. In fact, is there a hold on him out of any other location? What is going to be
The only other hold.
Your Honor, in response to the court's inquiry, I'm afraid I am not in a position to advise the court as to that. Insofar as the recommendation of bond is concerned, the state is recommending, besides all standard conditions, no drugs and alcohol, and that the defendant take prescribed medication as prescribed, $3,500 cash or surety. This is a defendant who, besides at least one failure to appear within the last 3 or so years, appears to have prior diversions for disorderly conduct, possession of a hallucinogenic, and possession of paraphernalia. Additionally, pursuant to pages 1 and 2 of the affidavit, it is alleged that the defendant struck a law enforcement officer in the left side of their head with his right elbow, resulting in an injury, as well as seized a law enforcement service weapon from its holster, and that ultimately, it was necessary to combine the efforts of 3 separate law enforcement officers in order for the defendant to be properly being successfully subdued.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is they've charged an interference. It could just be a resist, but it could have been execution of a warrant. I'm trying to figure out what brought them in contact with him in the first place. And if it was because there was some kind of warrant or some other kind of activity.
Your Honor, it would appear pursuant to page 1 of the affidavit, upon being offered lawful commands by an officer, the defendant resisted and did attempt to take certain evasive maneuvers.
Right, but they have to have reasonable suspicion that a crime was being or has been committed to detain and order him to do anything other than if they're just getting investigative information to start the whole ball rolling in the first place. All right, look, I'm going to appoint Darren Patterson to represent you. I'm going to expedite your court date to February 7th, 2025 at 1:30. Do not violate the law. No contact with any of these officers outside of, if you would have to call 911 and they would show up of no fault of your own. But do not contact them. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not violate the law. You have an attorney. Your court date is February 7th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. And I am going to set your bond at $1,500 cash or surety.
All right. Yeah. Jay here was loading still, and this guy was supposed to be played in the 5th. Yeah. I don't know. This is why I wanted to tell you guys this was my feel-good case of the night. You might be laughing a little bit during this one. All right. That's it though, guys. That's all I have. And thank you, Phil, so much for the reminder. So I can tell you guys this now. Heather has plans tomorrow night, so we moved our date night till Sunday. So Sunday night I will not be streaming, but that means I will be live tomorrow night instead. So I hope to see you guys there. I know it's kind of random. I don't usually do Saturday nights, so no pressure on hanging out. If you have plans, go have fun. Go live your life. You don't have to be on the internet all the time like me. Yeah, that sounded a lot more sad than I wanted it to. Yeah. Janie, thank you so much for giving me something else to talk about. Janie, thank you so much. It's good to see you, Janie. And I'm glad you're here. Oh, thank you. You're my favorite Kiwi. You are. That is exactly what I call you. I had to think about that for a second. I was like, no, that's you. That's you. That's what I call you. My favorite Kiwi. All right. You guys are awesome. Who day? Yes, Peeps. Peeps sent me soap for 17K celebration. We're almost halfway to 18K. We're almost halfway to 18K. It's been a fast couple weeks for subscribers. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. And Peeps, thank you so much for the Who Day soap. I appreciate it. All right. Yep, I am. And I'll send a message in the mod chat. Don't feel obligated to show up. I'm not giving you guys any warning. If you have plans, don't change your plans. It's fine. If there's no mods here tomorrow night, I'll just, mod it myself. How bad could that be? It's gonna be a disaster. All right, let's see who we can raid. I am rambling. Let's see who we can raid. Let's see. Oh, my internet's starting to have a tough time, so good time to leave. Mike is live, but I know that I can see the case he's playing. He's gonna be done soon. We got Artie. So we got Artie or Mike are our two options. Jen Hardy said she was going live, but she's not on the list. She's not on my list. Hold on. So I'd rather raid Jen if possible. Yeah, I don't see her though. She's not even on the upcoming. Well, so we're just gonna have to raid somebody else. We got Artie and Mike. Artie and Mike. Oh, did anybody suggest anything between Artie and Mike? No, it didn't look like anyone did. I think Mike's gonna be finished soon. So is Artie. If Artie's live, he generally goes. He starts before I do usually. All right, I'm just gonna pick one. You know what? Yeah, that's who I want to raid, but it's not coming up. And she said that she was gonna start about now. So that would be better. So we're not raiding someone who's gonna stop right away. All right, let's go to Mike. We can raid Mike instead of me rambling over and over again. Oh, there you are. Okay. If Jen's starting now, then I'm just gonna wait a second and we'll go ahead and raid Jen. Hurry up, Jen. Go. No pressure. But hurry. All the pressure. Oh, I just called myself the cop.
Any questions?
Oh wow. All right. Just caused myself the cop. Okay, we're gonna raid Jen. She's here. And I just got the notification she just went live. Yes. There she is. Okay. Now it's set up. We can raid Jen now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Sorry, I kind of just rambled for the last 5 minutes. I do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for the membership milestones, the super chats. You guys are awesome. I will see you tomorrow night. Let's go hang out with Jen for a little bit. Until next time, bye.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Okay. Brian Wilkinson. He posted